Hi guys, this is Mrs. Walters. Hey, I wanted to do a quick little video with you guys using the phonics chart that I want you to practice. Um, a couple weeks ago when we were together, we had just started looking at this long E spelled with the Y and the EY. So if you look at this little thing up here where we have our tree and it reminds us of that E sound, these are the ways to make that E sound. And we've worked on all of them, the magic E, the EA, EE, and even the open syllable E by itself, like before. And this week we're going to work on that Y and EY at the end of a word. And you'll see that a lot of times when we put a Y at the end, it'll make it multisyllabic. So instead of stud, it'll be stud E, and it becomes its own syllable. So we're going to work on some of these. Remember, when you are working through these words, you can do a touch and say like e, study, or you can do what's called additive blending, and that's when you go sta. Sorry, I did it wrong. You say sta, stud, study. Remember when we did that? All right, so sometimes it's better to do an additive blending, especially if you're finding that you are saying the individual sounds and they're not quite clicking together. All right, and some of you are to the point where you can continuous blend and say it out loud, study. All right. So again, we're going to do a couple of these together. So we've done study. Let's see if we can do funny. And we're going to just say a look and a say for this next word. All right. So we're going to look with our eyes, put it in your head, and say it funny. Good. Now remember, you see two consonants together. This is because the first syllable is fun, and then they double that because it has a vowel and a consonant after it there's no blend. Just like when we double the consonant when we're putting some of the other endings on words, okay? So funny, let's do the next one. Look, say, really is what you should have said. Good job. EA says E, real E. We have two long E sounds, one with the EA and one with the Y. And let's do one more. Look, say. Hopefully you said baby. Good job. So this grid is a little bit different than the one that we use daily in our class, but it has the same kind of words. The first three lines are going to be reminding you about that long E sound made with the E, Y, or the Y. There's not a whole lot of EY you're going to see. Oftentimes that Y, that E sound at the end is just with a regular Y. This third line is going to remind you of some of the other long vowels that we've talked about. IE says, hopefully you said E. Y at the end says I. See, we have Y at the end here that says E. So be very careful with that Y. A Y at the end can say E or I, depending on the word. All right. IGH. Good. It was a long I sound. Night. OW. I don't remember. This was a couple weeks ago. OW says O. Long O. OA says O. Good job. AI says A. And AY says A. Good job. Again, these are a couple little review words. And then we've got some sentences. Remember, I don't want you to sound like a robot. So read them as many times as you need it to so that you can scoop those words and make them make it sound interesting. I don't want it to say the baby is very fussy. Fussy. Okay, I want you to read it like the baby is very fussy, right? Use some expression and get those words together. So practice as much as you can on those sentences. And then the last thing is our structural analysis. So each week on day 2, we start that. And this week is compound words. So what a compound word is when you have 2 shorter words, the complete words that make up a bigger word. And sometimes the meaning is a little bit different. So an ant and a hill, you put it together and it becomes an ant hill. It's a hill where ants live. So that meaning didn't change too much. Actually, none of these changed too much, but what I think of is the word butterfly. And the word butterfly means a little animal that flies and flutters, right? A caterpillar turns into a butterfly. And it's made of 2 different words. Butter. Well, does butter have anything to do with a butterfly? No, not at all. So the meaning changed. Butter is the stuff that you put on bread or toast, right? And fly is what a butterfly would do. So sometimes those compound words, it's 2 full words. So like puppy up here is not a compound word because the first syllable is pup, and that's a real word. But P is not a real word, right? PY is not a real word. So be really careful. A compound word, when we're talking about it this week, has to do with 2 full words, 2 little words that make up 1 big word. So in your reading, see if you can find some of those compound words this week. All right. Thank you. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Get outside and get some sunshine.